Gibbs is in the backfield. They fake it to him. They're going up top. It's right there.
What a play.
Laporta, for the second time in the game, has a touchdown. Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown. And the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is Brad. You're listening to the Detroit Lions Hangover Podcast. Oh, what time is it? It's 11:10 p.m. Thanksgiving night. So, welcome to Black Friday by the time you probably hear this. Oh, crap. Hey, don't forget to find me on all social medias. I'm on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And please subscribe to the show. Rate it, preferably 5 stars. That's my favorite amount of stars. And then if you could also, I don't know, give it a review if you're feeling like it. If you're feeling thankful for the show, I'm thankful for all of you guys. I'm also thankful for Applebee's giving Dan Campbell the day off of work so he could coach today's victory over the Chicago Bears. That's right. Lions win again. They won by a score of 23-20 over the Chicago Bears. Bears fall to 4-8. Lions climb to 11-1. This is their 10th straight victory. I believe it ties a franchise record, and I believe they haven't done any of this since 1934. That is right, 1934. What a crazy game, man. I thought the first half, the Lions came out firing on all cylinders. They kind of let their foot off the gas in that second half. They only scored 7 points in that second half. However, the Bears did all of their scoring in the second half. They scored 20, and they made it quite the game. And if it wasn't for some, I don't know how else to call it, some immaturity from Jameson Williams, it probably would not have gotten as close as it did. But he's not the entire story alone. I thought the refs... I thought it was a pretty horrible called game by the refs. And this isn't anything against the Bears. I don't think they got away with anything that we didn't get away with, but I feel like there were lots of phantom calls, weak calls on both teams, and it cost both teams drives. It cost both teams points. And I think the refs were sort of making their own headline in today's game. And, it's not... It's supposed to be a game of football, not a game of penalties. And I thought, I don't mind the penalty on Jameson Williams when he threw the ball at Stevenson. I don't mind. Like, that's a penalty, that sort of stuff. But the invisible pass interference calls, like that stuff... like that's affecting the outcome of the game, man. And this, it went both ways where it was like, oh, that's kind of a weak call on the Bears or that's a weak call on the Lions. So I'm not saying this in a biased way. I'm just saying that the refs kind of sucked today, man. They kind of sucked and they dictated the outcome of the game a little bit. I mean, the Lions still won. I thought the Lions were the better team. The Lions made mistakes to let the Bears get back into the game. However, there was assistance on both sides. Overall, I thought Goff played okay. He had crappy 7 passes in a row. Gibbs and Montgomery, they played fantastic. I love that they were escorted in today by Sonic and Knuckles. I thought that was great. Caleb Williams, I thought he played okay. I mean, it was a good game. It got better in the second half just because it started to become a game. But that's what happens when you only kick field goals pretty much in the first half. You leave a team in it, especially when they get the ball in the second half. That's like one of the worst things we could do. Thankfully they didn't score at the end of the first half, but holy cow, some horrible coaching by Eberflus, clock management. Somebody's got to call a timeout there with like 32 seconds left. They ultimately, if you want to say that, Eberflus lost that game, or Caleb Williams. Anybody could have called a timeout, right? So, that's definitely something that the Bears needed to do. They didn't do it. It felt kind of surreal that we won, like we were at one point preparing to go into overtime. At another point, we were preparing to lose the game. Vildor gets called with a pass interference that was pretty weak at the time. That continued the game. But yeah, then the Bears just decided they didn't want to win. So, because it was looking like our win streak was coming to an end, it looked like that the losing streak on Thanksgiving was going to continue, and it looked like that the Bears were going to further their all-time win-loss record against us, in favor of them. But none of that happened. But yeah, Lions extend their win streak to 10 games, and they win 23-20. Not exactly the game that any of us were thinking it was going to be. It could have been close, but it could have been a shootout. This was kind of an ugly game. It really was ugly. Both teams really just played 30 minutes of football, and the Lions decided to play theirs the first 30, and it just happened to be enough. It was better than the second 30 that the Bears played, and that's really what it comes down to. So let's get through the story of the game here. And then we'll start to break down stats, and I'll share more information as we go. But Jake Bates starts the day off with scoring after a long 8-minute drive by the Lions. Bates kicks a 30-yard field goal. Lions take the 3-0 lead. Next, you get a Sam Laporta touchdown, 3 yards from Jared Goff, makes it 10-0. Jake Bates kicks his second field goal of the day, 36 yards, makes it 13-0. Then Jake Bates was with his third field goal, 48 yards, 16-0 Lions. So things are looking good, right? But the Bears had the ball at the end of that first half, and it kind of looked like if the Bears scored there and then they scored out of the first drive of the second half, like, we were only up. That would have been 14-16. So thankfully that didn't work out like that. But the Bears are the first to score in the third quarter. Keenan Allen with a 31-yard touchdown pass makes it 16-7. Then Laporta gets his second touchdown. So that makes it 23-7. You're starting to feel a little bit better, but fourth quarter, all Bears. So there goes that second half shutout, touchdowns from the Lions defense. Keenan Allen with his second touchdown of the day. There is a failed 2-point conversion, though, so that keeps the game at 23-13. Then DJ Moore gets a 31-yard pass, and that makes the game 23-20. And then, at the end of the game, that's when the mishap happens. That's when there was that pass interference call. That's when there was no timeout called, and the Bears just throw an incomplete pass, down at the 10-yard line, and there just was nothing that they were going to do about it. Overall, it was just a poor performance by the coaching staff of the Bears. I don't know what else to say. I mean, somebody's got to get their head out of their ass over in Chicago. I don't expect Eberflus to be back next year. Hopefully he can win enough games, though, to stay employed, and the Lions can just continue their dominance over Chicago. Jameson Williams, though, he had a good game, but there were some mental mistakes. You could tell that the Bears were getting under his skin. There was a time when Williams was going to go confront on the field one of the other players. I don't know who he was going to go after exactly, and I'm sure the Bears were dirty. Like, let's just give Jamo the benefit of the doubt. But he was going to go do whatever, say something there, like he was going to put himself in a position to get a personal foul. And you could just see Ragnow just step in and push Jamo off, like, hey, like, stay cool here. Like, don't make any dumb mistakes. But regardless, even after that happened, Jamo takes a pass out of bounds. And as he's coming back onto the field, he throws a football at Stevenson, number 29 of the Bears, and hits him right in the face. And at first when I saw this, I was thinking he was throwing the ball to the ref and Stevenson just got in the way or something, but that wasn't the case at all. Jamo purposefully threw it at this dude's face, and he got hit in the face. And, I guess if you're immature, you want to say that that's funny, but there's nothing cool about that. That almost single-handedly cost the Lions a drive, for sure. The drive stalled out after that. Bates missed a field goal after that, his only miss of the season, which is fine. He had a good day anyway. 3 out of 4 is pretty amazing. But, Jamo never came back in after that. He got a verbal abuse assault from Antoine Randall L. on the sidelines. But these are the kind of mistakes you can't be having. This is the kind of crap that the Lions don't want on their team. They don't want a player doing this stuff, and it's... Jamo is a phenomenal talent, but he has not done anything to where you think he's not replaceable. So these things are adding up, these little instances, these things. And it's a maturity thing. And he's a young kid and he's just trying to have fun. But man, when these problems are starting to affect your play on the field and potentially affecting the outcome of the game, somebody's got to get a hold of this guy and get in his head and straighten him out. I'm sorry. I love Jamo, but if you are going to make decisions that are going to cost the game for your team, something's going on. You're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking team first. And that's not what the coaching staff and Brad Holmes are trying to build here. So I'm not saying anything is going to happen. I'm just saying his value is going down in my book because he hasn't done anything that I haven't seen Patrick do. He hasn't done anything that I haven't seen Khalif Raymond do. And we traded up to get you, and you're kind of bad luck ever since. You're more personality than you are productivity. So, I mean, like I said, I love Jamo. I'm just tired of seeing any player, and it just happens to be Jamo, but I'm tired of seeing any player make stupid decisions on the field, even if they're out of bounds. And you have to think Coach Campbell and Antoine Randall L. and Ben Johnson, they're all, it's probably Randall L's place to talk to Jamo about this. But you got to be St. Brown has to get in this guy's ear, the veterans on this team. Goff has to get in his ear too. He has to understand. Now, I've heard Jamo has unpromptedly issued an apology to his team in the locker room. And, the story I shared last on the preview show, Bears are annoying for whatever reason. The Bears are annoying. People can't get under your skin and you do stuff that you're probably going to regret but it's we're not being paid millions. He is. And football is life to us as fans. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast is because I love the Lions so much and I just want to see them win. And it just sucks when you see somebody do something so stupid. And it's this is a minor occurrence right now. It didn't affect the game, but it could have. And it's his troubled past where he's taken himself off the field with suspensions and just dumb decisions and then, pleading ignorance to the whole thing. I didn't know, it's come on, man, please do better for us. Do better. Be the Jamo we want you to be. You can still grab your nuts in the end zone when you're scoring touchdowns. But if you're taking the team off the field because you're doing something stupid, that's not cool. When it affects the team, when it affects the outcome of the game, which again, we got lucky this time. But when that happens, you're going to lose favor with a lot of people, a lot of people who love the game, who love the Lions, who love you. And it's got to get better. It's got to get better. Jamo has to do better. All right. I can get off my Jamo rant now. And, I'm over it. I won't talk about Jamo no more. I love him. I want him to do amazing, but that was stupid. And it really kind of bothered me, if you guys can't tell. So let's start breaking down some stats. Caleb Williams went 20 of 39. Didn't play great. Didn't play poorly. The dude had 3 touchdowns today. Threw for 256 yards. Had a 97.8 quarterback rating. He also ran the ball 4 times for 39 yards. DeAndre Swift ran the ball 11 times for 39 yards. Those are the only 2 guys to run the ball today. They, 15 attempts for 78 yards as a team. DJ Moore had 8 catches for 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Keenan Allen, 5 catches, 73 yards. Swift had 2 catches for 35 yards. Cole Kmet, 3 catches, 26, and Rome Odunze, 2 catches for 25. I really thought Odunze was going to take over there in that second half, but they started throwing the ball more to DJ Moore. Man, that first half, though, statistically, the Bears had nothing that first half. The Bears did nothing that entire first half. It was the Lions had them locked down. They couldn't do anything. Williams was making poor decisions. The run game was inoperable. Like, the Lions were peak performance defense, and the Bears made it easy on that as well. Tackle-wise for the defense, Byard the third had 10 total tackles, 5 solo. Jonathan Owens, 8. Gervon Dexter Sr. had 7, and then a bunch of guys had 6, 5, 4, 3. You know how math works. No turnovers. There was almost a fumble on... Oh, no, there was a fumble on Gibbs, wasn't there? Yeah, Gibbs had that fumble. That was recovered by... Man, they don't have it on here. Come on, bros. All right, I can't find it, but I know Gibbs had that fumble, and it was huge, and I don't blame Gibbs. It was... that was a hard hit, and it knocked that ball right out, man. Chicago did punt 4 times, but they did not attempt a single field goal. Let's get to the Lions. Let's get to the good guys here. Jared Goff went 21 of 34 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 100.2. He was sacked 1 time for 9 yards. Oh, that's the other thing. We had 5 sacks on the day for 33 yards. Penei Sewell had 1 throwing attempt. Technically, he was sacked, but holy hell, that was the coolest looking sack I've ever seen. I love that trick play. I really thought it was going to be a run from the get-go. Sewell had some decent speed, and if he just kept trying to run it, I feel like he might have been able to get 10, 15, maybe even 20 yards. He's really fast. I was really impressed. It took a lot of Bears to bring him down. It took like 4 to 6 Bears to bring him down. I know he was looking to throw it. I'm not sure exactly who the target was on that play. It was pretty amazing, though. I loved it. Montgomery ran the ball 21 times for 88 yards. Gibbs ran the ball 9 times for 87 yards. Jameson Williams ran the ball twice for 18 yards. That first time was garbage, but that second time he did a really good job. Goff is credited with 1 rush for 1 yard. St. Brown led the team with 5 catches and 73 yards. Patrick had 2 catches for 48 yards. Montgomery 3 catches, 36 yards. Big day for Montgomery. He had over 100 yards total offense, and so did Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had, so they both had over 200 yards combined. Jamo had 5 catches. Like I said, he had a good game, but you notice after that mistake, after that boneheaded penalty, he did not come back into the game. Lions only had 1 more drive, though. And then it was all Bears the rest of the day, and that's when they sputtered out. Brock Wright had 1 catch for 13 yards. I love seeing Brock Wright involved. And Sam Laporta, he didn't have a huge day, 3 catches for 6 yards, but 2 of those catches were for touchdowns. So, yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, 1 fumble, 1 loss. Maurice Alexander, he had a fumble too, but he didn't lose that ball. Brian Branch was leading tackler on the day with 6. Khalil Dorsey, I thought he had a pretty good game, and even Kendall Vildor, I thought he recovered nicely. That pass interference call was kind of crap, but still you like to see it different. Rodriguez had a huge game. I thought Kirby Joseph did well. DJ Reader, man, the defensive line, I thought they did good. I really liked how the defensive front played today. I thought they did a good job. At times, I felt like it could have been better, because I just can't wait for Hutchinson to get back, because to see Hutchinson and Smith out on the field together, I think Lions are going to be pretty unstoppable with that defensive front. Yeah, no. Let's see here. Khalil Dorsey had 1 return for 23 yards, and you see Maurice Alexander, he had 4 punt returns, so no Amon-Ra St. Brown. One of those was a 23-yard return. I thought he did pretty good. Jake Bates, 3 for 4. His longest being 48, as we talked about, and he was 2 for 2 with those extra points. Jack Fox punted the ball twice, and he was inside the 20 both times. And oh my God, that 1 punt, holy cow! Special teams, they really did it up well, man. That ball was like on the, I don't know who it was. Was it Dorsey? Was he the one that caught the ball there? There was like very little green between him and that end zone, that white line, man. And they downed that ball on like the foot-yard line, like the foot line. I don't know what to call it. It's not a yard, but it's like a foot. So they played that punt perfectly. Love to see it. There were 64,000 people down at Ford Field today. So let's get to the team stats. More stats, and more stats. Lions had 25 first downs. Bears had 17. Bears were 7 for 15 on third down. Lions were 5 for 14. We were 1 for 1 on fourth down conversion. We ran 69 total plays. The Bears ran 59. Bears had 301 yards of total offense. We had 405. The Bears had 10 drives. We had 9. The Bears were 1 for 1 in the red zone. The Lions were 2 for 5. So not the red zone efficiency that we are used to. The Bears had 8 penalties for 78 yards. The Lions had 6 penalties for 79 yards. We did have that one fumble like I talked about, and the Bears had the ball for 24 minutes, 46 seconds. The Lions had the ball for 35 minutes, 14 seconds. Final thoughts of the game. Let's see here. Overall, it felt like a surreal victory. It really did. None of the players looked like they knew that they won. They can't believe, like it just looked like everybody was just in shock of, why wasn't there a timeout called? Not that we care, but at the same time, it's like you expect a football game to go a certain way, a certain level of competency, like you expect the other team to know what they're doing. But at times, the Bears and their play calling, they just look like amateurs, The first half was just pitiful. The Lions, they played well that first half. They probably could have executed some of their plays a little bit better, going 3 for 4. Or, they were 3 for 3 for field goals, only 1 touchdown. Like you want to see more touchdowns, less field goals. However, at that point, you're just like, okay, let's just keep building our lead. So let's take these field goal points, and Jake Bates has been tremendous all year. I'm not hating on him for that lost kick. And, I saw somewhere like you definitely don't want to go into the postseason with, hasn't missed a field goal all season sort of thing. I mean, that's just things that jinxes are made of, I will say there's some flowers to give out today. I call them flowers. These are achievements by the franchises or, individuals. So the only quarterbacks since 1950 to have 10-game winning streaks with multiple teams is Peyton Manning and yours truly, Jared Goff. Both of these guys. Peyton Manning did a 10-win season with the Colts and with the Broncos, and Jared Goff did it with the Rams and the Lions. These are multiple back-to-back seasons. Okay, 10-game winning. 10-game winning streaks. Yeah, so the Lions have won 10 games in a row, mostly because of Jared Goff. Let's say that, and the Rams won Jared Goff played there 10 games in a row, and probably because of Jared Goff. He had a really good season that one year. They went to the Super Bowl. And Peyton Manning, of course, won 10 games in a row with the Colts, and he won 10 games in a row with the Broncos. So those are the only quarterbacks to have done that. This is also the Lions' 10th straight win, which ties the single-season franchise record, longest streak set in 1934. So if we win this Thursday against the Packers, that will set the new franchise record for most consecutive wins in a row with 11. So hopefully we can do it. We get a little bit of rest back, but the good news is after that Packers game, it's like a miniature bye week almost, because it'll be 10 days before we play the Bills on Sunday night football. Sunday, not prime time, the national game though, the 4:25 game. As of right now, I guess they have until Monday to decide if they want to flex that or not. I'm up in the air on that if I want that to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think that's it for me, though. I do have a new poll up on the Twitter asking you guys what you think the next giveaway should be, the listener giveaway. The choices between the Brad Holmes bobblehead, Calvin Johnson bobblehead, David Montgomery bobblehead, or the collector coin. I got this poll going up on X. I might have said Twitter just a second ago, but I got this poll going up on X right now for the next 3 days, and currently the Brad Holmes bobblehead is winning. So if things stay that way, I'll be giving out another Brad Holmes bobblehead next week. Excuse me on that, and for your listener giveaway. So yeah, If you didn't win previously, you are eligible to win this time. So yeah, give me a follow, guys, and retweet the post. Well, all the rules will be up, and I'll talk about it on the preview show, which I should have out Tuesday. The preview show for Week 14 against the Packers. Other than that, I think that's it for me. I mean, I've vented all my Jameson Williams grievances. I don't know what else is left for me to do. Don't mistake my grievances with Jamo as hate. I love Jamo, and he very well could be one of my favorites, but, we all just expect better, So I think that's reasonable, and I think everybody understands that, and I'm sure Jamo understands that as well, and I look forward to smarter play in the future. So that's it for me. I've been Brad. This has been the Lions Hangover Podcast. Thank you for listening, and I will be back next week with another episode. Ciao.